My name is Vale, and I started going to camp when I was 7, I think. I was coming out of 2nd grade, and then I've been at camp for 10 years, 11 years now, and I'm getting ready for my first year as a staff.
Actually, I went at like 8 months old or something.
My mom was sort of one of the, was in the first round of campers who came to camp when camp first opened. I was growing up, I had always heard about it and couldn't wait to be able to come to camp when I was old enough. I came every single summer that I was able to.
I think one of my earliest memories of Camp Fowler is from family camp.
I grew up in Brooklyn, so I wasn't really into camping. I did not know anything about being in nature. I did not know anything about hiking. I didn't know what I might need. But I think the way that Fowler operates, it can be very welcoming for people to whom they know nothing about Fowler camp or anything like that.
I think it's like a place to be completely who you are.
There are too many places in the world that aren't welcoming to people for whatever reason it might be, whether it's religion or race or gender. And the fact that camp welcomes everyone in, no matter what they believe or who they are, is a really big part about camp's philosophy.
No matter who you are, no matter what your background is, no matter where you're coming from, there's a spot for you here at camp, and we want to welcome you, and we want you to know that you are welcome no matter who you are.
I remember when I was little, I used to count down how long it would be until I could be a camper. My first year as a camper, I was in duck cabin, and I remember every time we went back to our cabin, we would run up to our cabin quacking and going like that. I like to do things like hanging out with my cabin and doing carpet ball and making friendship bracelets and doing stuff in the garden and playing games and stuff that I wouldn't get to do at home.
I think it's really important for kids to spend time with people of other generations because for the most part, their entire social life is a bubble of people who are the same age as them. I know that there are conversations with adults that were planted in me, and then one day when I turned 24, and I was like, that's what they meant by that. I think I come back to be a cabin counselor because it brings me a lot of peace. It gives me a lot of hope in future generations.
So SWIM is a student working in ministry. You are a mix of a staff member and a cabin counselor and a camper, all in one. It's one of the most exhausting weeks of your life, but it's also the most gratifying week of your life. When I was a little kid, going up to camp was the best part of my summer, and helping give them a week as great as the ones that I've had is always really special. It was such a great experience to know that they're coming back next year because they had an awesome week, and it was really cool to be a part of that.
especially going to college for the first time, it's super scary. It's like you're going to a new place and you know nobody and nobody knows you. But going to camp for so many years and going into a cabin and being like, I don't know who these 8 girls are, but here they are, and I'm gonna make friends with them. And having the knowledge that I did that so many times and made friends and made connections, I was able to go into college and be like, oh, I can do this and it will work. I've wanted to be a teacher since I was like as young as I can remember. Being a swim and a cabin counselor helped me realize how much I wanted to teach. I think you find your passions sometimes when you like least expect it.
Coming to camp as a volunteer every year reminds me that kids are so much more creative and smarter than we give them a lot of credit for. And they care a lot about a lot of things that they don't necessarily find it okay to express when they're at school. Coming back as a volunteer, it always lifts my spirits about children enough to go into the school year. And so even when I'm frustrated, I remember like, they're gonna be okay.
The theme for this summer, A Place at the Table, really lended itself to some really good discussion. When we were talking at Discovery Time, some of the campers talked about members of the LGBTQ plus community being welcome here, non-Christians being welcome here, those who may have different socioeconomic status being welcome here. And it was so refreshing to hear campers talking about those lines being blurred.
Or where you are on life's journey, you are welcome at this table. Everyone is welcome to receive this sacred meal this evening.
We talked about the Bible stories of Jesus taking bread and fish, and no one thought there was going to be enough because there was thousands of people there listening to him. And he said essentially that if they had faith that they would have enough, and everyone was fed and there was food left over after they were all done eating. I think a table is a great way to show that people are welcome because you're all sitting there as a community sharing food that you need and want. And it's a great way to show that there's always enough for anyone, no matter what.
The days feel really long, like it's been a whole week, but the day went by really fast. But it feels like you've done so many things in one day. You're like, it's only been a day.
But camp, it's like you're in this place with people. There's nothing else to do except talk to them. You can't like hide behind your phone. You have to talk to them and make a connection, and it like leads to a deeper thing.
I think of all of the big major events that have happened, and as I look back at those events in our family's lives, there's always connections with Fowler. I mean, it's a intricately and interwoven part of who we are as a family. And Fowler helped me develop my faith, and Fowler answered a lot of those deep questions about who God had called me to be.
Camp Fowler is really important to me because I want to say about this close to atheism at the time. Camp Fowler is super important to me because without it, I'd probably not believe in God anymore. And I can't even really picture what my life would have been if I didn't really believe in God anymore.
Camp Fowler is the one of the biggest places in the world that has made me who I am. It's something that I want to be able to carry on through the rest of my life, is going up there and taking the things that I learn and experience from camp and sharing it with others.
It's just like kind of become a part of me, like it's attached itself into my brain permanently.